name is Orion Perez Dumdum, and I am actually an OFW based in Singapore. And I actually set up the correct movement, constitutional reform and rectification for economic competitiveness and transformation back in 2010, together with Gilberto was also there. The late Carmen Pedrosa was also there, and a few other people. It was basically my anger at how the Philippines had been left behind. That was my cause for setting it up. As an OFW, I am always bombarded by questions by the people I meet from other countries about why our country is left behind. Particularly in Southeast Asia, ang mga Singaporean and Malaysian, they will ask me, hey, so Orion, your country, Philippines, you used to be richer than us. What happened already? Why are you so poor? Ganyan sila. Magsakay ka ng cab, ng taxi sa Singapore. Uulit-ulitin kang matanong ng ganyan ng mga taxi driver. Hey, you know, you used to be the richest country in this part of the world. 1950s, the Hong Kong women go to Philippines to become the maid. Now, what happened? The other way around already. Ganyan sila. They will ask that question. Yung pag-advocate ko ng mga reforms nito ay bunga ng kainisan ko as an OFW na talagang nakakahiya na ang bansa natin. Na parang nakakahiya na pag-iiwanan na tayo. Late 2020, napag-iwanan tayo ng Vietnam. At the same time that Vietnam changed their system from the communist Marxist model, they became capitalist and became pro-foreign investment in 1986 with their Doi Moi reforms. That was the same time that we became more restrictive with our 1987 Constitution. Baliktad tayo. Ayan, ang kalabasan, naiwanan tayo. One of the reasons why I brought this up is because in the 1993 Grand Finals, where I was there, together with my good friend Leo Gapol, and the one who became the winner there, I was the what do you call this? The runner-up, no? By 1 point only, by 1 point. Si Ferdinand Macalinaw. Out of the three, 2 of us are OFWs, or 2 of us are overseas Filipinos. Ferdinand Macalinaw was a product of Philippine Science High School and UP Intermed, one of the greatest minds in mathematics and science. Super galing. Ngayon, magaling na doktor, pero nasa US, and if I am not mistaken, naging US citizen na yun. Ako, I still proudly wear my Philippine flag here because I'm still a Filipino citizen. But if these changes that are necessary don't happen, I might be forced, for the sake of my son, to give him a better future because he will have a better passport where he will not need to keep on lining up for embassy, para sa visa para lang makapunta ng ibang bansa. This is a trouble that I have to go through in my international job in Singapore. So, ayun po, I just brought that up just so that you know, marami pong mga nanalo dyan sa Battle of the Brains, mga grand champion dati, na mga kaibigan ko rin, overseas na sila. Several of them nag-US citizen na. So, ayan. All right, let's move to the next. All right, so I explained what the correct movement is all about. So I think there's no need for that. I wanted to use this as an opportunity to explain number 1 and number 3. Why do we need to change the Constitution? Or do we need to change the Constitution? Obviously, yes, for 3 different reasons. And what are those changes? We'd like to, number 1, remove all anti-FDI restrictions in the Constitution. This is for the sake of massive job creation. We need more jobs than job seekers. And we need to allow OFWs to come home and have gainful employment in the Philippines. So that's obvious. Number 2, hindi naman po pwede na kapag dumami ang mga trabaho, puro na lang Metro Manila magpupuntahan ng mga trabahong yan. We want them to go all around the country. So we need to have an evolving federalism model that will decentralize the country so that we will have multiple economic centers. So we decongest the capital. Obviously, we know that Metro Manila is an overcrowded and overcongested metropolis. We want to change that para yung mga taong galing sa kanilang hometown pwede na ring umuwi. And then, no more one-size-fits-all policies because iba-iba naman ang mga konteksto ng iba't ibang mga region, ng iba't ibang mga ethnic groups natin. Let us respect the cultural and linguistic diversity in the Philippines, and there's no other way to do that other than federalism. And let's remove that highly urbanized cities section in the Constitution. Article 10, Section 12 is the reason why all provinces are actually considered poor and are always needing help from the IRA. Why? Because when a city within the province becomes rich, it becomes an independent, highly urbanized city, and therefore it is removed from the province. It no longer contributes to that province's gross product, the economics of that province. And even in the calculation for the IRA, the land area and the population of the province are lessened because that highly urbanized city, that rich city, has been removed from the province. So yun po. Now, we also need to have a good system of government, a system that we can ensure that if there are leaders who are not performing, they can be easily removed or replaced. And that is the parliamentary system. I have direct knowledge of a parliamentary system because I live in a country using one. I live in Singapore. Right next to us is Malaysia, also using a parliamentary system. Not perfect, but way better than presidential systems. So they are proven to be superior to presidential systems. It's easy to remove and replace the top leader if it's incompetent or not trusted. Parliamentary systems are proven to be less prone to corruption than presidential systems. And parliamentary systems are much more efficient than presidential systems. Okay. Now, I just wanted to explain then that these necessary reforms that we need, two of them are universal, meaning to say these apply across all countries and societies except for federalism. So yung being open to foreign investors, lahat ng bansa na gumawa niyan, they succeed. Okay? Everyone else in the region is now doing this. Tayo lang yata ang tayo lang talaga ang merong 60-40 sa ating constitution. Yung iba wala. Ang federalism, again, it's not for everyone. It is only for diverse societies. Societies that are linguistically, ethnically divided, geographically fragmented. If you are a country like Korea where everyone is ethnically Korean and it is a small country and there are hardly any dialects at all, there's no need to be federal in that kind of situation. Similar to Japan, where 99% of the people are Yamato Japanese. They all speak the same language, and there's only a very few people who are Ainu or Okinawan. Shift to the parliamentary system, this is universal. All presidential systems are actually flawed. All presidential systems have been found to be prone to absolutism or one-man rule. That's the general trend of a presidential system. Parliamentary systems are more collegial, so they're better. All right, so let's go to this fact. The 1987 Constitution was hastily written. So we know what happened there in the part about the amendment. Originally, the 1987 Constitution was written supposedly with a unicameral legislature in mind. And at the last minute, let's make it bicameral. And when they did so, nakalimutan nilang i-update yung section on amendments. That's why it mentions only Congress upon a vote of 3/4 of all its members. And there's nothing there mentioning about whether it's jointly, separately, or how it's going to be done with two houses. This is a flaw, and it was never fixed. And yet, unfortunately, some people, some of those who were so attached to it because they wrote it, they continue to insist that there's no need to change it. As an OFW, that is unacceptable. And we all know the Constitution is a country's operating system. This is an old slide that I made back in 2017. Kaya hanggang Windows 10 pa lang. Ngayon may Windows 11 na nga ngayon eh. Ang Mac OS, marami ng mga bagong version. Tingnan natin, ang nangyari sa 1987 Constitution hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin. Without hotfixes, without patches, without updates without upgrades? Wala. Sasabihin ng ibang mga kumukontra sa reforma na, oh, but the US Constitution has not been changed. Oh yes, it has been changed. It has been amended 27 times. And the first time it was changed, 2 years right after its first ratification, they immediately had 10 revisions, 10 amendments. So ayan, okay. So lovers of the Constitution, we need to change, we need to fix what we need to fix, no? And I wanted to show this also kay Jesse Robredo ito. There needs to be a system that forces them to be good. The system we have currently doesn't do that. See, these are ito si Juan Lintz is a political scientist. He said people behave in part in response to opportunities that the institutions give them to behave. And in the case of Armand Trust, he says this: once you change the structure, behavioral change will follow, and thus the culture will also change. Now, I wanted to address this also. Ang daming mga fake news na lumalabas, pinapalabas lagi na people don't want charter change, people don't want constitutional reform. But actually, if we are to be totally transparent about this, we will find out that the 2018, this was mid-2018, I think July 2018, Pulse Asia made this. And instead of asking, do you want to change the Constitution, yes or no, the question was, the answers, the options were, yes now, yes later, no, or don't know. And what happened? Na-split yung yes. So yung nangyari dyan, yes now, 18% lang. Yes later, 30%. Never, 37%. Anong ginagawa? Sinasabi ng mga newspaper, only 18% are in favor of amending the Constitution. However, they did not check the fact na may mga yes later. Sumasang-ayon sila, hindi nga lang immediately now. Baka next year, okay lang. Sinama natin, 48% are in favor. And in fact, in terms of federalism, pagtingnan natin yung, are you in favor about adopting federalism? 56%. 56% ang mga taong gusto. So, I'm sorry, we had the problem of the ano kanina. So if I can have another 2 minutes. So ito po, kitang-kita po natin, there is a lot of fake news going on. Pinapalabas na ayaw raw ng mga tao, pero actually minamanipulate nila ang pagpresenta ng datos. 56% pala in favor dahil 28% ang gusto ngayon, 28% ang gusto at some other time or maybe next year. Ito po ang katotohanan. Linuloko lang tayo paminsan ng mga taga-media. Another thing I wanted to talk about, ito yung sumisikat na ito ngayon, yung mga kumuha na ng extra citizenship para no need to apply for tourist visas, etc. Gumaganyan na. Hindi ba natin kayang ayusin ng Pilipinas para ang Philippine passport mismo ang pwedeng pumunta sa US na walang need for visa, pwedeng pumunta ng Europe para no need for visa? Okay, I'll just explain here. Ito, alam naman natin yan. Nung high school ako, halos lahat ng mga kaklase ko dati, mga kapitbahay ko sa Cebu, dun sa Green Hills Subdivision sa Mandaue, gusto mag-nurse or mag-allied medical. Bakit? Hindi naman dahil gusto nilang maging nurse talaga. Gusto lang nilang mag-abroad. Ganon. Oh, protect and save our OFW, sabi ng KMU. But what's the best way to protect and save our OFWs? Create jobs in the Philippines. And what's the fastest way to create jobs? Singapore proved it. Malaysia followed suit. Vietnam followed suit. Everybody else, even Ireland, which is also a poor country before, followed suit. And now, they just brought in foreign investors. Bring in as many foreign investors as possible. They will create as many jobs as possible. Tataas ang mga sweldo because of the law of supply and demand. Tapos mag-uuwian na ang mga tao. Diba? Ganun. Tapos ngayon, ang Ireland, which used to be the Philippines of Northwest Europe, they are one of the richest countries now in Europe. They have the highest GDP per capita in the English-speaking world. Ito.
Now, can you kindly wind up?
Just last na lang dito.
Okay.
We see here, actually I have really so much more, but we see here, ito may job opening, contract-based. Pero lumalabas, mga 10,000 yan. Lineman, that's a very risky job. I remember back in the late 1980s, there was this problem of the lineman na sumabog siya dahil na electrocute. I mean, this is a very risky job tapos ang lumalabas 380 pesos per day lang. Ano to, 20 days or 20 working days or 30 days? I don't know, but if it's 30 days, that's only around 10,000. That's a very small, sobrang liit na sweldo yan. Itaas ang sweldo, sabi ng isa dyan. Oh, paano itataas ang sweldo? Paramihin ang trabaho. Yun.